Hello and welcome to the Summer 2023 Vital Link newsletter for Through the Roof. This is issue number 87. I hope everyone's doing very well and enjoying the summer. When we're recording this, it's just the start of July. And there's quite a nice sort of warm but mild day, but don't know what it'll be like when it gets to you in a couple of weeks' time. But hope you're enjoying it anyway. As mentioned, my name's Peter. I'm bringing you this issue. As mentioned in one of the stories later on, this will be my last issue of Vital Link as I'm finishing working at Through the Roof in about a month's time, and we'll be moving on to other things. I know someone else will be taking over, but I'm not certain who that will be just yet. But we will let you know, and we'll make sure there's an issue coming through to you probably in November. In the meantime, I've really enjoyed bringing you the Vital Link for the past few years, and I'm sure it will carry on doing great work. Okay, and with that, on with the first story. Mixed blessings in Bidi Bidi. Through the Roof's Wheels for the World team in Bidi Bidi refugee camp, Uganda, by Lucy Mile, team member and physiotherapist. Our Wheels for the World team recently showed the refugee community of Bidi Bidi, northern Uganda, that everyone is uniquely loved and valued in God's sight, but not in the way we originally expected. We returned to one of the world's largest refugee camps near the South Sudanese border for our first visit since June 2019. 5 of the 9 team members were on that trip and were excited to serve again with new and old friends. Since then, there have been supported distributions where the UK team supported our Hope Health Action (HHA) partners, supplying wheelchairs and mobility aids through skilled support online. Frustratingly, the container bringing over our wheelchairs was extremely delayed in port and only arrived once we were heading home. A disappointment for the team, but God gave us alternative opportunities for productive use at the time, working with HHA's stock of chairs and assessing other local disabled people for the HHA team to serve with the wheelchairs once they arrived. We were anxious to get working and serve some of the most needy people in the world. We began at the rehabilitation centre, supporting our HHA wheelchair technician colleagues, Scovia and Moses, with provision of a wheelchair from their existing stock. Therapist Lynn was able to get a child on his feet and demonstrate his potential to walk to both the wheelchair technicians and his family, showing that a wheelchair is not always necessary and that supportive footwear, along with a walking aid, would be more suitable once it arrived. Much of our time with the HHA staff was spent mentoring and teaching, identifying factors for providing specialist chairs and helping with the needs of people with more complex conditions that may benefit from support when lying and sleeping. It was a joy to see the skills our partners had learnt and the reassurance we could offer through encouragement and sharing realistic expectations around what we can achieve with the recipients we're serving. We were blessed to support Scovia as we reviewed Karim, a 5-year-old boy with cerebral palsy who already has a wheelchair from the supported distribution in 2021. His needs are extremely complex, with widespread contracted muscles, epilepsy and pain, along with malnutrition. We worked together with his mother and family to create a supported position for lying and sleeping, and modified his wheelchair to make him feel more comfortable and better supported. Reflection, learning and working in partnership with the HHA team enabled us to share professional skills as well as show to the community that we were all loved and valued in God's sight. Despite the frustrations of the delayed container, power problems and some tough working conditions, the team did amazing work with people living in difficult conditions as refugees from South Sudan. You can read more about the trip in the full blog posts at www.throughtheRoof.org/international-blogs. Thank you for your support in making this work possible. Please donate to enable future trips at www.throughtheRoof.org or by calling 01372 749 955. BeARoofbreaker Revised. A new version of the BeARoofbreaker resource, fully revised and updated for 2023, is now available. This guide contains lots of new material, making it an ideal purchase for churches looking to deepen their work in welcoming, encouraging, and empowering disabled people. You can find it on the TTR shop at www.throughtheRoof.org or by contacting the office on 01372 749 955. It's on sale for £5 plus postage and packaging for either print or download versions, and roof breakers can claim an amazing 50% off. Visit our website to sign up as a roof breaker or contact Katie at throughtheroof.org if you've lost your discount code. The new guide contains sections on the theology of disability, the responsibility of the church, inclusive language, and sections on including wheelchair users, people who are blind, people who are deaf, those with learning disabilities, mental health issues, dementia, speech difficulties, autism, children with additional needs, people experiencing disability later in life, ongoing support available for roof breakers, and much more. It also contains ideas to support those who are unable to attend church meetings and encouragement to take a person-centered approach. We're really excited to see how this new version of this classic guide will be used, far and wide, in churches and beyond. If you pick up a copy, please let us know how you use it in your inclusion work. Pray with us for Disability Awareness Sunday. This year's Disability Awareness Sunday is about the unique gifts God gives each one of us. We would love you to join with us in praying that this will be an opportunity for churches across the UK to hear from disabled people themselves, telling how God is at work in their lives. We've prepared a service pack based on this theme with a video of Ashley Milroy from Edinburgh sharing some of her own message. We also have postcards available to give out to everyone attending the services. If you are able to hold a service in your church, either on September the 17th or a date of your choice, please do get in touch or visit www.throughtheroof.org/disability-awareness-Sunday and fill in the form, and please do share the link with friends. Here is one of the prayers that forms part of the pack. A prayer from Emily Owen, a Christian author who lost her hearing overnight. She knows what it is to be broken and what it is to meet God there. Father God, sometimes I compare myself with other people. I can't be like them, however much I wish I could. Help me to remember that you made me. I don't need to be like someone else. I'm special to you just as I am. You rejoice over me. Help me to do what I can without worrying about what I can't. Help me to be who I am without worrying about who I'm not. Thank you that you are always with me, encouraging me, strengthening me, and guiding me as I fill a space in your world that only I can fill. Amen. Get involved and make a difference. The mission of Through the Roof is transforming lives through Jesus with disabled people. We believe God has called us to this work, based on the Through the Roof Bible account in Luke chapter 5. We can't do this work without the involvement of a lot of wonderful volunteers, and we would like to encourage more people to consider getting involved. To make that easier, we now have a new section on our website, Get Involved. On the website, you can hear from some of our volunteers and find out about opportunities in the UK, international opportunities, and other ways of getting involved. There's a wide range of ways to get involved with Through the Roof, giving huge opportunities to be part of God's work in and through the lives of disabled people. Kathy volunteers on our Wheels for the World mission trips, using her skills as a physiotherapist. She has been on various trips to Kenya, to Uganda, Tanzania and Ghana. Kathy says, I always learn more than I give when I go on these trips. I always learn more about love, compassion, resilience and faith in God. Kathy was interviewed on Songs of Praise, July 2021. Karen uses her talents by making and selling greetings cards, raising funds to support the work of Through the Roof, and raising awareness too. Karen says, I love finding ways to inspire others to support Through the Roof prayerfully and financially using the gifts God has given me. Steve volunteers at the Through the Roof warehouse in Aldershot, where mobility equipment is refurbished before being shipped out to developing countries. Steve says, I basically look at wheelchairs, fix them, clean them, repair them, and put them back together again, all ready for a shipment for whatever country they're going to. So it's fantastic, a fantastic group of people, and we get on really well. Linda is a roof breaker network coordinator, linking together roof breakers who are disability champions in their own churches. Linda says she loves the wonderful peer support and hopefully inspiring people to go out and make change and to welcome people into church. From mission trips to making cards, there's something for everyone. There's such a broad range of opportunities, there really is something to suit anyone who would like to get involved. And we're always open to new ideas too. If you feel you would like to be part of the mission of Through the Roof, we would love to help you find the role that will suit you. Whether it's volunteering in the UK, going on international trips, sponsoring a wheelchair, joining us in prayer, or any of the other opportunities available, you can be part of the mission too. There are even opportunities to get involved from home or in your local church, and due to the nature of our work, we particularly aim to ensure that disabled people are able to get involved and to use their gifts in serving God. If you think you might be interested, but want to find out more, please get in touch for a conversation about what would suit you best. Everyone has a part to play, meaning that more lives can be transformed. To get involved and make a difference, visit www.throughtheRoof.org or contact Janet Erdley, janet@throughtheRoof.org, or 01372 749955. Developing Good Taste by Dr. Mike Townsend, TTR Chair of Trustees. Through the Roof's latest online event was all about our senses. Naomi Graham of Growing Hope helped us pay more attention to our sensory perceptions. There's more to sensory awareness than I had thought. In addition to the regular 5 senses, Naomi introduced 3 additional sensory channels: balance, body awareness, and internal sense. Please look at our online version of the event for a deeper understanding. I've recently become all too aware of one of the 5 traditional senses, taste. I am just back from a Danube river cruise. The food was top rate. My scales tell the tale. My 1-year-old grandson, Joa, was born with only half heart due to hypoplastic left heart syndrome. Since Joa's second major operation, he has started to try to walk, but one thing that he has never done is eat. He is tube-fed through his nose. Experts tell us that the one way to encourage Joa to eat is for him to be at the table with us. Joa can then see what we are all doing, eating and enjoying. I long for the time when Joa gets to enjoy taste as much as his granddad. This year, a lot of Christians are refocusing on ways in which we can grow spiritually and build stronger relationships with God. In my church, we talk about developing Christian habits. They are often called Christian disciplines, which makes them appear rather onerous. Reading the Bible is one of those habits. I am halfway through reading the whole Bible this year. This phrase has just jumped out at me: taste and see that the Lord is good. Psalm 34:8. Some of the habits can be rather hard to get into. Going through all those numbers, names, and tragic kings can seem tedious, but meeting God in my daily Bible readings is getting to be quite compulsive, even blessed. Taste can be very enjoyable. I am also having a go at other Christian habits through reading The Celebration of Discipline by Richard Foster. Disciplines are tough, but once we start to embed them into our lives and taste the goodness of God through them, we get to enjoy that stronger relationship with Jesus. As Peter says, like newborn babies crave pure spiritual milk, so that by it you may grow up in your salvation, now that you have tasted that the Lord is good. 1 Peter 2:2-3. What Christian habits are you tasting at the moment? Oh, and please pray for little Joa, that he will get a taste for eating. Thank you, anonymous donors. Thank you to everyone who gives anonymously to the work of Through the Roof. Without an address, we're often unable to thank those donors directly, but we appreciate every gift. If you're expecting a response to a donation and haven't had one, please get in touch so we can join up all the information and properly acknowledge your gift. If you'd like to financially support Through the Roof, anonymously or otherwise, please visit www.throughtheRoof.org for a donate link, or contact the office on 01372 749955. Transformation in Kerala. Wheels for the World in India 2023. We had an amazing team from Wheels for the World working hard in Kerala, India earlier this year, in partnership with Satyam Ministries and its founder, Dr. CV. The Wheels team brought joy and freedom through the gift of a wheelchair or mobility aid to around 100 disabled people, plus countless other family and community members. It was an emotional and challenging trip, filled with heartwarming experiences that left a lasting impact on everyone involved. Upon their arrival in Kerala, the team was full of excitement and determination. They set up their base at Pushpagiri Hospital and prepared for the mission ahead, ensuring they were well equipped to change lives. After meeting the dedicated staff, they also visited the Satyam Ministries, where they were warmly welcomed and enjoyed a time of fellowship. The team then visited the Justin's Home Disability Centre, a moving experience as they met with the residents, witnessed their talents and shared in their joy. After setup was concluded, the team embarked on their first day of distribution at Pushpagiri Hospital. It was an emotional day, working with individuals with all sorts of needs. The team worked tirelessly to provide the best mobility aids for each person, constantly chatting and checking in with the patients and their families. The gratitude and appreciation expressed by the people they served was very moving, and a reminder of the profound impact this freedom-bringing work has. When Sunday arrived, the team attended Dr. CV's church, where they were warmly welcomed and thanked for their mission. The service, primarily in Hindi, was filled with passion, and the team joined in the heartfelt singing. They participated, broke bread together, and were inspired by their devotions shared by Susan and Martin, translated by Dr. CV. Throughout their journey, the team encountered numerous heartwarming moments, including their visit to the Little Servants of Divine Providence home for disabled children. The therapists and technicians carefully assessed 8 children in need of wheelchairs, and as each child adjusted to their newfound mobility, their transformations were dramatic and moving. The joy and smiles that radiated from these children were a testament to the profound impact of their work. The team felt God's hand in the constant stream of acceptance by so many, including lifelong Hindu followers, and were delighted to give people 35 traditional Bibles and 46 wonderful new audio Bibles, both in local languages. The team also offered pastoral support, prayers, and scriptures suited to the needs of each person. Thank you for all your support in making this life-changing work happen. If you'd like to donate to help fund future trips, you can find a donate button on our website, use the paper donation form, or contact the TTR office on 013 7274 9955. To find out more about the India trip, you can read the team's blog and blogs from all our international missions work at www.throughtheRoof.org. Share your stories. Jesus taught about the kingdom of God using stories or parables. Why was that? There were many reasons, but it's likely that Jesus knew our human hearts could be touched more powerfully by a story than by 1,000 words of explanation or logic. That's why we are asking you to share your stories with us and with others about lives transformed by God's ministry of Through the Roof. We want you to use the power of story to help change hearts and minds so more people catch the vision for disability inclusion. It could be a story from your local church about a disabled person getting more involved in church life. It could be from your own lived experience of disability. It could be a story from a TTR holiday or mission trip. Tell others and send in your story from the TTR Resource Bank, where others can find stories to use for TTR publicity. Just email any stories to annette@throughtheRoof.org. They can be anonymous and they don't have to be perfect. You may think your story won't make a difference, but remember Jesus' parable of the mustard seed. Jesus told the crowd another story. He said, "The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed. Someone took the seed and planted it in a field. It's the smallest of all seeds, but when it grows, it is the largest of all garden plants. It becomes a tree. Birds come and rest in its branches." Matthew 13, 31, 32. An example of a mustard seed story. An anonymous lady TTR supporter and wheelchair user was talking over coffee to a man at a Disability Awareness Sunday service. She told him all about TTR's work, and he was inspired to contact us. He asked for an interview as his job is as a presenter on TWR Christian Radio. That lady sharing her story once has led to hundreds of people hearing about TTR. See the interview with Katie Mobbs on the 3rd of June 2023 episode at twr.org.uk. So every story counts, and you never know how God will multiply its impact. Making sense of our senses. Thank you to Naomi Graham, CEO of additional needs charity Growing Hope, growinghope.org.uk, for sharing your expertise with us all during May's online event on sensory processing and church accessibility. Naomi explained that Growing Hope works with children with additional needs. She shared how we all like to start the day with a sense of calm. However, people with additional needs may find it difficult to find the calm they need, as they may struggle to process the input from their senses. Naomi used stories from the Bible and her own experience to explain how God speaks through each of the 8 senses, the usual 5, plus balance, body awareness and internal sense, including our sense of God. She emphasized the importance of understanding each person's sensory experience, including children with additional needs in the church, as seeing everyone as God sees them. Naomi got participants to try sensory experiments, such as writing a sentence without your feet touching the floor. These brought alive how much our senses affect us. She explained how particular sensory experiences can be calming or alerting, such as loud or quiet noises and geometric or irregular patterns. But Naomi explained it's important to ask each individual what helps them. She shared an About Me form that people can fill in with their sensory preferences, such as whether they need a quiet space or struggle to sit still. We heard how the senses can be used to enhance worship, including the huge boost to concentration created by movement through body awareness, as well as the importance of using images and objects as well as words to help everyone understand. During the discussion time, people showed enthusiasm about using sensory experiences within their churches and raised questions which Naomi answered later. A poll of those present showed great support for disability inclusion in church, but there is a great need for sensory strategy resources, with 80% asking for these. Naomi suggested simple tips for churches, including quick wins such as providing ear defenders and pipe cleaners as simple fidget toys. She explained how vital church support can be for families and children with additional needs, including the strong link between trauma and sensory processing issues, with movement and physical activity helping heal and calm. So it's important that we educate the church not to judge people for using fidget toys or moving around. Growing Hope provides free therapy to children with additional needs, as well as supporting parents, carers and siblings. You can read the story of Growing Hope in Naomi's blog at www.growinghope.org.uk. Brenda Murray, one of our new regional Roofbreaker coordinators who helped facilitate the event, said, "We look forward to making connections with all those who attended to ensure people have the resources so everyone can be part of God's family." You can find a video of Naomi's talk, plus answers to some extra questions, at our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/TTRChangesLives. Meet our new regional coordinators. Introducing Brenda. Hi everyone, I'm Brenda Murray, the new Roofbreaker coordinator for London, East and South East of England. I am a former probation officer with additional experience working with children, families and education. I have a degree in criminal justice and a master's degree in coaching psychology. I am passionate about social justice and believe that everyone should have the options and opportunities to flourish, which is why I am very excited about the coordinator role and really looking forward to connecting with people. My hope is to equip churches and Christian communities to fully involve disabled people, to also recognise their talents, gifts and skills to enrich and be more inclusive within mission and ministry. I would appreciate prayers for God's guidance to enable us to serve and empower people to achieve their God-given purpose in disability ministry, to bring the good news of the coming of Christ's kingdom accessible to all in word and deed. To quote Johnny Erickson Tada, "Each one of us is God's special work of art. Through us, He teaches and inspires, delights and encourages, informs and uplifts all those who view our lives." Hello from Jess. Hi, I'm Jess Paul and I'm the new Roofbreaker coordinator for Scotland, Northern Ireland and Northern England. I'm so excited to be working with TTR and meeting everyone. My background is in children's, youth and family ministry, in which I've had the privilege to work with many wonderful children and young people, all who have taught me something about God. I'm also currently working with the URC Synod of Scotland as their children's ministry development worker, where the focus is on intergenerational and inclusive church. I'm really looking forward to working with Roofbreakers and enabling disabled people to feel not only included in their churches, but that they have a Christian family where they belong, sharing their gifts and talents to further the kingdom of God. Your prayers for this role are greatly appreciated, especially for God's guidance and for more people to be moved to become Roofbreakers. A new role for Katie. As mentioned in the last issue, Katie Mobbs, formerly our outreach coordinator, has now enlarged her role and become our Roofbreaker team leader and coordinator for Wales, West and South West England. The vision is that every church in the UK will have a Roofbreaker. If your church does not yet have one, please do pray and consider it. You don't need to be an expert in disability, you just need to be available to connect with disabled people in your church. Find out more about Roofbreakers by visiting our website www.throughtheRoof.org. We thank God for Roofbreakers and pray that He will guide this new phase of the project. Thanks, Pete. We want to say a massive thank you to Through the Roof's tech expert, Peter Ty, as he moves on after 16 faithful years of service at the charity. Pete's first role was a humble admin and publicity assistant, but over time he developed his role to become a giant of everything tech-related and an integral part of all the charity's digital communications. He has served the team willingly, always being on hand or on Zoom to problem solve the latest technical challenge, as well as edit and produce our Vital Link newsletter, organise online events, oversee the print and design of our publicity and publications, edit and subtitle videos, run the database, find relevant photos and produce posts for social media and the website. Pete believes the time is now right for him to explore other opportunities, including pursuing some educational study. He and his skills and experience will leave a massive hole at the charity, but he goes with our blessing and grateful thanks for being such a vital team member, an essential part of all that we do as a charity. I'm proud of this wheelchair. It has helped me so much. Lazarus from Kenya told us how much the gift of a wheelchair from Wheels for the World has meant to him. Before he had the chair, his mother had to carry him in a wooden chair on her back to and from school. Now with the wheelchair, his study has improved, he's made more friends, and he has plans to become a lawyer to help other disabled people. Your support and partnership is changing lives and bringing freedom and joy across the world. As the cost of materials, flights and shipping increase, we are so thankful for your generous donations that keep Wheels for the World growing and supporting amazing people like Lazarus. Your prayer and financial support is a vital part of Wheels for the World. Contact info@throughtheroof.org to sign up for our regular prayer prompt email. Thank you. All about wheels. Over 100 million people in the world need a wheelchair but don't have access to one. A report from the Wheelchair Foundation found that less than 10% of people who require a wheelchair in developing countries have access to one. That statistic from a recent Wheelchair Foundation report. Most of these people don't have the money or opportunity to buy one. Through the Roof's Wheels for the World programme restores and distributes donated wheelchairs to people in developing countries, giving disabled recipients increased independence and demonstrating the love of God in a practical way. You can find out more at www.throughtheroof.org. To make a donation to the work of Wheels, please phone 013 72 74 9955 to make a donation by credit or debit card. Other ways to give. Please visit www.justgiving.com/TTR to donate directly and securely online, or to donate by bank transfer, use account code 00008105 and sort code 405240. Do let us know if you do this so we can claim gift aid and keep you informed about the good work you are making possible. Call us on 013 72 74 9955 or email info@throughtheroof.org. Contact details: Alpha House, Alpha Place, Garth Road, Morden, SM4 4TQ. Phone us on 013 72 74 9955. Email info@throughtheroof.org or website www.throughtheroof.org. Through the Roof's vision is of a world where all people live interdependently, mutually giving and receiving as God intended. Through the Roof Charitable Trust Limited is a registered charity number 1087788, with offices at Alpha House, Alpha Place, Garth Road, Morden, SM4 4TQ. It is also a registered UK company number 04201510. That's it for this summer issue, and thank you very much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have any further questions about anything that's mentioned, or if there's anything else we can do to help, please get in touch with the office, and we'll be happy to help and also hear from you. The next issue should be with you in sort of late November this year. That'll be the sort of the autumn-winter issue for 2023. I'm looking forward to hearing it myself because, as mentioned earlier, it won't be me who's writing it and bringing it to you. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening with the charity as it continues. And thank you very much for your time, and please take care. Bye.